good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. We have a lot of stuff I want to cover today. Particularly, we're going to stay on the Middle East. It's been a lot of developing news with the Hamas conflict or terrorist group that invaded Israel over the weekend. It seems like the United States is divided, and I'm not speaking on the main government like Joe Biden and other members of Congress, but you do have some members of Congress saying that, I although they sympathize with, the Israelis and the Palestinians, the lives lost, the innocent lives lost. We have Rashida Tlaib going um supporting the Palestinian government. So we'll take a look of what she said in her tweet. Also, Joe Biden's brother. Joe Biden's brother is spreading his business, all over the internet. So we're going to talk about that today. So let's go to our first story of the hour, and we're going to talk about the invasion that's happening, or the war. I guess it will be called a war because now the Israeli government, they declared war on the Palestinians. So we're going to talk about that. Let's go to our first clip that I wanted to show you guys. And it's kind of sad because, America is a melting pot, and we do have Palestinians here. We do have Jewish, Israelis, people that lives in the United States. Not only they live in the United States, they're citizens of the United States. So it's like, okay, which side would you take? I mean, are they trying to say pick a side? You need to take that side. I know the Israeli government is an ally of ours, so I'm kind of questioning why Joe Biden made that crazy trade of that $6 billion. He basically funded this whole operation. So, and then they're saying on the news that they're trying to, they are worrying about a coordinated attack on the other side of Israel. So I'm going to play this for you. This is from Fox 2 News. Let me share it. And then we'll talk about Rashida.
Israel is under attack in a measure we have not seen basically since 1973. And U.S. officials are said to be raising concerns over Israel's intelligence after Hamas attacked this morning, catching just about everybody by surprise. The burning question, how was this invasion missed? Danny Danon is Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, or was, and he's now a member of Israel's Knesset, where he sits on the Intelligence Committee, and he's a former deputy defense minister and joins us now. Ambassador, thanks so much for your time at a time in which your nation's at war. Right now, how would you characterize the response to the attacks this morning?
Brian, as you mentioned, we are in a war. Israel is under fire. And so far what we did, we pushed back the terrorists who invaded Israel, and we cleared the area in the south. We haven't responded yet, and I can assure you tonight that we will respond. It will be painful to the leadership of Hamas, and we saw the brutality, the way they kidnapped kids, families, elderly persons into Gaza, the way they butchered and massacred entire families. We see the numbers today, we see the horrific footage, and we realize that we're dealing with some kind of a new form of ISIS in our southern border, and we are determined to fight back. We are determined to win. We know it's not going to be easy, but it will happen. We will hunt them down, and we will win this war.
Ambassador, you guys are known for your intelligence operations, almost teaching the world how to do it. How did they pull off this massive attack and almost seemingly catch your entire nation by surprise? I know we don't have a year to look back at an after-action report, but your reaction to what has happened today, is everyone surprised? Were there indications that something like this was in the works?
So we were caught by surprise. We cannot hide the truth. And I think we will have to look into it. I think one of the major mistakes we did that we allowed the protests to get into the fence. And they actually used those protests to plan multiple activities and tunnels right next to our fence. I think in the future we should not allow anyone to get close to our fence. We know they took advantage of that, but now it's not the time for us to look at the mistakes. Now we have to fight, we have to show our strengths, and we have to make sure we bring back the dozens of civilians who were kidnapped brutally into Gaza.
Right. Ambassador, I know the concern of the rest of the whole world, especially you guys, is that Hezbollah will start mobilizing. Even though Hamas and Hezbollah don't necessarily get along, they are united on not liking Israel. Have you seen any indications that Hezbollah is mobilizing to attack you on the other side?
So we know that Iran is trying to collaborate with Hamas and actually bring everybody together against Israel. And we advise Hezbollah not to try to test our abilities. We are watching the border with Lebanon, and I hope they will not join the cycle of violence. If they will feel the might of the IDF as well. We have no patience anymore after what we have seen in the last 24 hours, Brian. We paid a very heavy price. All of us saw what's happened. We're seeing now the pictures, the names of the victims. We're talking about hundreds of Israelis who were killed, who were massacred. And I would advise Hezbollah not to join what we are seeing today.
Lastly, what should the American people know about what it's like to be in Tel Aviv right now?
So now it's relatively quiet. It's very early in the morning, but we are entering a new day of fighting terrorists, fighting those barbaric evil. And you know, you faced it with 9/11. You cannot ask for any reason for the attack. It was unprovoked, but the Israeli people, we are strong. We are willing to fight. We are united. We support the Prime Minister in the fight for our life.
Are you a country divided? I'm seeing so much about protests in the West Bank, Israel protesting Israelis and this government. Is that those protests maybe gave a signal to outside enemies that you guys were a country divided?
So they made a mistake because when we are under attack, we put our differences aside. We don't have any arguments, no left or right, coalition, opposition. We are one people fighting together, and we mobilize the reserve. You know, my son, the entire family, the people went to fight, and we stand together. And I think in the past, 50 years ago, we fought the Yom Kippur War. It was much harder than today, and we showed our ability to come together, and that's exactly what's happening now. The Israelis are coming together in order to fight against this evil force of Hamas.
Yep. America's in your corner. Thanks so much, Ambassador Danny Danon, who's got a lot on his plate, but he wanted to be able to talk to the American audience and tell them what's really going on there. Thank you, Ambassador. Appreciate it.
So you see, that is kind of sad. What they're saying that they didn't know about the attack, or they didn't have any warning. I don't know what their military system or defense looks like. It seems like if Gaza was part of a peace treaty deal and you knew who occupied that space, you think you would be monitoring everything that they were doing, but it's unfortunate this has happened. Now we're going to go to what we're seeing in New York. Now, there's dueling protests in New York on both sides, Israel and Palestine. Israel and Palestinians. Um, and they're shouting at each other. The streets are crowded.
Shame on you.
And they're saying shame on you, and you're seeing this is the Palestinians flag and the Israeli flag. So the house divided. um there were like people actually getting in a shoving match and fighting each other. I don't know about the Times Square, but I know it happened in Washington D.C. yesterday.
Shame on you. 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 Shame on you.
And so you have that, and then you have like kind of weird kind of stuff that's going on. I want to show you this clip where they were waving their flag. A Muslim female women raising their flag, and they started beating each other with it. Um, I women need to stop doing that. You don't do that. You don't hit a man because you don't know what his reaction's going to be. I don't condone this. And vice versa. I don't believe men should hit women, but definitely you don't provoke men, especially the man you don't know. So but this lady was waving this flag. And you see that guy, let me just attack the other guy who waved a flag. And so some people are wearing the Israeli flag around their neck and some the American flag. I like to say a message to both people. You are in America. I mean, that literally you're here. Um, Even though you might have some people over there. Um, Now, to get to American citizens, particularly Black folks. Now, let's just read Talib's quote. And I'm going to read some of the statements under her tweet or statement. So she just released a statement. She's here in Michigan. She's over the 12th district in Detroit. Actually, Detroit has one of the largest Middle Eastern populations in the US. We're heavily populated with Middle Easterns. It could be either from Arabic, Lebanon, Palestinians. There's a array of Middle Easterns in Michigan, and like I said, we have one of the largest populations. So this is why Talib serves office. We talked about Talib before, and she wanted to get on the train of I forget what the thing was, but it was, oh yeah, the CRT train. She wanted to get on that train about teaching African American studies in the school system. So, and look, she's here, and I gave her the riot act because you're here, and a lot of your students are reading at the fourth grade level. So just focus here. We don't want to worry about Florida. But she's making this statement, and reason why she's making this statement, she has every right to, because she's from Palestine. So she's saying, I grieve grieve the Palestinians and the Israeli lives lost yesterday, today, and every day. I am determined as ever to fight for a just future where everyone can live in peace without fear and with true freedom, equal rights, and humanity dignity or human dignity. The path to the future must include lifting the blockade, ending the occupation, and dismantling the apartheid system that creates the suffocating, dehumanizing conditions that can lead to resistance. The failure to recognize the violent reality of living under siege, occupation, and apartheid make no one safer. No person, no child anywhere should have to suffer to live in fear of violence. We cannot ignore the humanity in each other. As long as our country provides billions in unconditional funding to support the apartheid government, the heartbreaking cycle of violence will continue. Um, so so I'm assuming she is speaking of Iran or Ukraine. Not for sure. I think she supports Ukraine though. Um, or she's speaking of the Israeli government. A lot of, and we'll talk about because one of the guys I follow is pretty big. He has a huge following on YouTube, but he's Jewish, and throughout history, he's saying that his people have been sought out and persecuted, massacred, and when we could talk about um, Nazi Germany, what they did to the Jewish people. I mean, so, but he listed a long line of atrocities that happened to Jewish people. So, and he made a point or he made a statement. Don't know if it's a point or not because I'm just like really just trying to stay neutral of it all. But he did make a point. He said that you can't blame Jews for everything. Just because something has happened to you has nothing to do with the Jews. And somebody put a picture of Israel. Um, After German Nazi, the war, Jewish people came to Israel. They got this boat sitting on um, a picture of this boat, and the Jewish people came to Israel, and they had very little land, but now as it stands, they occupied the whole entire country, basically. Jewish people. But if you really think about it, Jewish people operate in a different manner. If you have a business, if you're Jewish, you have a business, you pay other people to do business, almost like a tontine type of thing. So you're basically paying all these people if they're in the same line of business, whatever the business is, and they don't have none, they don't own your business, but you make payments to them. And that's how Jews end up obtaining their wealth and staying wealthy. Well, and they did that same thing. They started from nothing in 1947, and eventually they occupied that whole country. So, one, I mean, you can't get mad at the strategic effort of Jewish people. You can't get mad at that. I mean, you could take notes from them, no. Just like the Hollywood industry. They're saying that in Hollywood, they occupy a lot of the things. They're the higher ups. Hollywood, movie and music. Okay, so what can you say about that? If they occupied those spaces higher up, but they did it strategically, they weren't going in and bumping people's heads off or knocking people, not that I know of. but they moved strategically. Anyway, so back to Tlaib, Rashida Tlaib statement. Now, it was interesting that, some people was like, this very first response to this post, they said, Malinka, this is from Malinka. How did we elect a Hamas member sympathizer to Congress? This is sickening. Tlaib should be expelled to Gaza. And it says, if public sentiment continues to run currently in the direction it is, the squad should be expelled from Congress. So squad meaning, Cori Bush came out. Cori Bush, and Cori Bush is black. I just don't understand what's going on with these black folks making these statements saying, oh, we stand with so-and-so, we stand with whoever. And it's like, these people don't give a damn about you. I mean, just let's be real. They don't care if you stand with them. They don't care because they don't give a damn two shits about you. Anyway, so I'm trying to see Cori Bush. Okay, and so look, so Representative AOC and let me share this tab. Amar Elhin Amar, that Muslim lady that's in Congress, have also been heavily critical of Israel in the past. They called for ceasefire between Israel and Hamas on Saturday. Israel's security cabinet officially declared war Saturday night after Hamas terrorists launched a surprise barrage of 1,000 rockets into Israel. Okay. And let me just get to what Cori Bush is saying about. Okay, this is it. Oh, and so to leave Bush, they want an end to Israel's support. They're calling for an end to Israel's support, but it's kind of odd. You want to support Ukraine. You support Ukraine. And they're facing criticism. They're labeling Israel as an apartheid state and call for the U.S. to end funding to the nation amid a surprise attacks by Hamas that killed hundreds. Now, I don't know if we could say it's an apartheid state. Maybe it is. I'm not for sure. Never been there. Cori Bush, Senator Cori Bush, he's stuck over there. He had to go into a bomb shelter, and he filmed from wherever he was at, saying he was safe. So it's saying that Tlaib, we already know that she was grieving, whatever. And as a part of achieving a just, lasting peace, we must do our part to stop the violence and trauma by ending U.S. government support for Israeli military occupation and apartheid, she said. And Tlaib and Bush remarks were quickly met with pushback from the right and the left, including two Democrats lawmakers and comments to Jewish insiders, Richie Torres and Josh Gottheimer. Shame on anyone who glorifies a resistance, the largest single mass murder of Jews since the Holocaust. It is reprehensible and repulsive. I don't think nothing's going to beat the Holocaust, but yeah, I could see what you're saying. Two of my colleagues called for America to end assistance to Israel, despite the countless images of Israeli children, women, and elderly including Americans murdered by a radical Iranian-backed Hamas terrorists. It sickens me that while Israelis clean the blood off their family members shot in their homes, they believe Congress should strip U.S. funding to our Democratic ally and allow innocent civilians to suffer. But you gotta wonder. We're talking about civilians suffer now. On the response to Hamas attack, the Israeli government, they're saying that they're going to shut off water, lights, and gas supply to the people that's in Gaza. And these are regular people. They're not part of the terrorist group, but they're citizens or they live in Gaza. So they're going to shut off, supplies and water to Gaza, but wouldn't you think that's humanitarian or inhumane? I think it's very inhumane. So what are we saying here? Okay, let me get to some of your comments. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Kahana, I want peace. I think everybody wants peace. I don't know about the people that's over there, though. It seemed like they want revenge on something. Bonita, the Palestinians have always been bullies. No one hits anyone. There is a reason men are thought NOPT. I don't know what you mean by that. I was just suggesting not to hit women. Men are far stronger. Okay, I see what you're saying. So don't do it. Does not give women the free right to hit men. Men need a new lesson. Never hit a woman who does not hit you. Exactly. I don't believe women should be hitting men. The protest should not be allowed to take place. All it's going to do is bring more violence. Besides, this is the U.S. You live in Dearborn, I'm assuming. Okay. Similar to Minneapolis. I know where Dearborn's at. I'm in Michigan. I do feed the children and women. They should be allowed safe passage. Exactly. So, the Israeli government saying one of their tactics is to starve them out. And it's like, you still got women and children over there, And I heard some very sick things. This guy, it was an older gentleman, and he was part of the Israeli government. And he was saying, let me pull up the clip. He was saying, yeah, back in the day when I was in the military, we if I saved it, I thought it was pretty sick, for a person to be talking like this. But this is it. Now, this is a retired IDF soldier talk about their experience in Israeli military and laugh as they do so. One of the soldiers are a 16-year-old girl and laugh. He put Palestinians in a cage and killed them. Soldiers chased villagers and flamethrowers and set them on fire. If I saw school children with their hands raised, I killed them. I fired and killed everyone. It's impossible for me to count. Then he laughs about it. Both of these men are living as free citizens in Israel. So this is what he's saying. Now it's in his, I guess, Jewish.
השתוללו בטנטור היה משהו נורא. טנטור היה כפר עשיר, בתים יפים, גרים כמו אירופאים, אתה יודע, וגם הנשים היו לבושות ויפה, ובאמת היה כפר אחד אנס שם איזה ילדה בת 16, משהו כזה. אתה מבין? אבל זה מכוער מאוד. היה לנו בחור אחד, הוא נפטר, הוא היה פרא אדם. הוא לקח פשוט מאוד ורצח אותם בתוך המכלאות. בתוך המכלאות, הם היו במכלאות, אתה יודע, חוטי ברזל כאלה, עגולים כאלה, אספו כל הגברים. הם יושבים שם, כולם, על הרצפה, ובא מישהו ולוקח תת מקלע ומתחיל זה, מחליף מחסנית. מה אתה חושב זה? אבל אנחנו לא היינו כאלה. הוא היה יוצא דופן, הבחור הזה, כן, מה שהוא עשה. והשתיקו את הדבר הזה, והיו חבר'ה שלקחו את הלוויורים ורדפו אחרי חבר'ה ושרפו אותם. זה היה משהו זוועתי, וזה אסור לספר, אני לא אדבר על זה, כי זה יכול להיות סקנדל שלם מהעניין הזה. אני לא רוצה לדבר על זה, וזהו.
ב3-4 חודשים הראשונים הייתי רוצח.
מה זה אומר?
אני לא לקחתי שבויים. בזמן קרב, אם מישהו הרים ידיים, משהו כזה, לא לקחתי שבויים. זה זעזע אותי עד כדי כך, לא יכלתי לעבור לסדר היום. אם היה עומדת כיתה של זה עם ידיים למעלה, אז באותו יום הייתי רואה אותי, הייתי קוצר את כולם, עד כדי כך.
כמה אתה חושב אנשים הרגת ככה?
לא ספרתי. אני לא יכול לדעת בחיי. היה לי מקלע עם 250 כדורים. תראה, יריתי, נלחמתי כולם. אני לא יכול לספור.
So, I mean, and this is the Israeli government. It's an older gentleman that participated in some very gruesome atrocities, okay, against human beings, women and children. And they admitted, well, the first guy, he said he didn't do anything like that. But as he told the story, he was kind of chuckling about it, like it was funny. And I think it's very sick. Different. I mean, I don't know what to say about this. But you do have people, they want you to take a stand. And this is what is going around. So, you know, where do you stand? Do you want to take a side? Should U.S. take a side on this matter? I tend to think that U.S. should mind their own damn business, but of course we don't. We want to take a side. This other thing I wanted to show you. Now this is from, what's the guy's name? Amar Stoudemire. Is it Amar Stoudemire or Stoudemire? Amari Stoudemire. And he's calling out Black Lives Matter for standing with the Palestinians. And he's saying that you're basically full of crap. You know, it's
you.
And he used some choice words.
I woke up, man, this morning with some disturbing news out of Israel. That Hamas kidnapping children, putting them in cages, killing women, killing the elderly. That's some coward shit. That's cowardly. And for all y'all Black Lives Matter who ain't saying nothing, well, let me figure out exactly what happened before I say anything. Fuck you. Figure out what? It ain't never been cool to kidnap kids and put them in cages. It ain't never been cool to kill women and elderly. Never been. No matter where you from, what you represent, what tribe you for, don't matter. There ain't never been no cool. There ain't never been none that nobody supported. And then you go and hide and put the kids in front of you as a barricade. That's some coward shit. All you politicians who always had something to say on the contrary, I see you. Fuck you. All you Black Lives Matter people who always had something to say and always supported everything else and you quiet now, fuck you too.
You know, and I don't think this is criticism is well spent. You know, I don't think And well, he does have a point. Black Lives Matter always stick their neck in everything, but it has to be money involved. That's what, hello, I don't know what planet you've been living on. Black Lives Matter, it has to generate some money so they could sue somebody. That's when Black Lives Matter starts protesting against the street. Let's sue. But if they can't sue, they're not going to say nothing. It's not their cause. Okay? It doesn't serve them. So, and then another thing, why would Black people stand up for whatever cause it may be? You know, you on the front lines for some things you probably don't even understand. It is unfortunate that it was an unprovoked attack and they killing women and children, but you're in another country though. I mean, you guys let me know if when you're in another country and you're saying, "Oh, this is atrocity. We should, fight for whatever the cause is. We shouldn't stand idly by. Should we march and protest on the street? Who are we protesting against? And I'm particularly talking about Black people. Who should we say, "Hey, this is wrong"? Because nobody ever do it for us. I mean, you do have some people saying, "Oh, no justice, no peace." You got some crazy liberal nut jobs doing that. And you'll see some crazy liberal nut jobs saying, "We stand with Palestinians. We stand with Israel." Israelis. You also have that, but I don't know what his criticism is like. You're falling on deaf ears. You're saying F you to Black Lives Matter. And like, I know you've been in Israel for quite some time, but really, do you know Black Lives Matter? Really? Come on, really.
Only place in the world where I can go and study Torah and eat kosher food. Only place in the world. Some coward shit, dog. And all y'all support it. Fuck you. On my mama, we don't respect none of y'all for that. Peace. I woke up.
So, and he's saying he don't respect no one that's, whatever. And so Tariq Nasheed said, "Man, if you don't sit your blank down somewhere and stop trying to wag your finger at Black people and shame us." I kind of agree with this sentiment because, it's like, okay, we have our own things to worry about. But still on Rashid Tlaib, I mean, what is it? Amari Stoudemire. He's been a public supporter of Israel even before becoming a dual citizen, and actually had a well-publicized meeting with then Israeli President Shimon Peres in 2013. So he's been over there for a while. He's been over there for a while. It says later stages of the career, the 6'10" power forward signed with both Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, winning 2 leagues titles in the country and a finals MVP award. Black Lives Matter had publicly backed the Free Palestine movement for years, although the group has been careful not to include Hamas in its public message of support for the movement. Why? I just don't understand why would Black Lives Matter do that and you're in the US. This is a US based fake organization. Let's say it's a US based fake cause. You just hanging your hat on every hook that you could get on. To me, it's just ridiculous. And then you have this Black Lives Matter with the Palestine flag. It says Free Palestinians. Black Lives Matter movement has been pro-Palestinians, but hasn't supported Hamas publicly. Well, if you're Palestinian, are you supporting Hamas, or can't we just differentiate? Just because I'm a Palestinian, that doesn't mean I'm a terrorist. You can't say, the attack 9/11 attack, Muslim extremists. Hamas is Muslim extremists. But can you say Muslim people or people that practice that religion, can you say all of them are extreme? I don't think so. You're lumping them into one bucket. And he said the only place in the world I could go and study Torah and eat kosher food. Well, that don't got anything to do with us. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could eat kosher food in New York City too. There's there's a lot of Jewish communities around here, so I don't know why he's saying that. But anyway, so that was Amar. I think his name is Amari Studemeyer. Chawanne, I can't talk today, so you guys got to forgive me. Anyway, it's Kahani. So Kahani, just give me this. Are you Palestinian? She said, as Israelis are committing genocide, not by killing everyone, but forcing people out a little bit like gentrification with the machine guns and rockets. White countries, they sure do like to fight. I think the Israelites should just go home and pray for their people. Don't get involved in this. It doesn't look good. The Palestinians should not be doing this. It says, learn about entertainment and rap and how Black people have been manipulated. Well, I was just mentioning that. We know Jewish people, it might be an anti-Semitic comment, but we know Jewish people run Hollywood. There's a lot of Jews that's in the Hollywood realm. Can you say they manipulate Black people? Well, they do have I think any person that's in that business, it doesn't matter if it's Black folks or Jewish, like Sean Puffy Combs. They saying he did people dirty as far as their contracts. It's just a dirty, dirty business. So I know they hold a lot of pull in that industry. The creation of modern state of Israel did displace Palestinians. I was just talking about the map. In 1947, after the war, Jewish people came into Israel's, and they only had small pieces of land. And then as it stands today, they own the whole entire land. So, but that was closed 80 years ago. And Gaza is because of the Arab state lost 2 wars with Israel. Ukraine is the most corrupt country there is. Benita said the Muslims in Congress are anti-Jewish Israel. Well, I think Rashida Tlaib, I don't know if she's anti-Jewish, but I think she's standing with the Palestinians because she's from there. So and she's, experienced she knows some of the history. Tracy said the other issue is that the Palestinians do not have a recognized country, and were it to be recognized, would the country be ready and willing to sign a treaty with Israel? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen, Tracy. I think they gave them the guys a strip to say, hey, this is our peace treaty. I think that's what the whole purpose was for that. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they had to divide some of the land up that's still dominated by Israelis. Bonita says sometimes they use women and children for their dirty work. Israel have been doing war crimes for 500 years. So we're talking about the guy that we just saw. So long as Israel is a part of the UN, what should happen is that the guys should be occupied by UN troops and not Israelis. In his defense, it happened just after the Holocaust drove people mad. Those Palestinians were not to blame. Horror begets horror. Yeah, I agree with that. And these people are acting like the Nazis. Just like Kahina said that, you go through some type of craziness, or you watch your family get killed by certain people, so you want to avenge their death. It doesn't matter who it is. So you're gonna take it off on anybody. So yeah, I could see that being the problem. Was not unprovoked, but there's a long history here where people have been displaced. Far more Palestinians have been killed, whilst American immigrants have swimming pools. Yeah, like I said, I think maybe it's one of those tit for tat things. They coordinate something, and then the Israelis, they coordinate something. But remember, years ago they went to war. Like during our time, and then they signed a peace treaty. I think that was back in 2007, right? I have to look it up. But to me, it's a never-ending thing. If Amari Stoudemire was not a rich athlete, he would be on a deport list in Israel. Exactly, Greg. He acting like he just part of the culture. Like, no, they like you and your money. And I don't know if he's married a Jewish girl or anything like that. Probably so. And they allowed him to do this because he's rich. But if he was just some regular ass dude just in the neighborhood, they were like, no, hell no, you ain't marrying nobody in our culture or in our heritage, and you don't have no right to be over here. He'll get pushed out just like the Palestinians will be, or was. Anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. We'll get to talking about I wanted to make one last thing. So we have this post, and this is why it gets kind of weird. This guy saying, "Oh, not gay as in happy, queer as in free Palestine." So like this is crazy. You got some crazy nut jobs. And this, like, people will put there, you're going to find that if you go on Twitter and on Facebook or whatever, they're going to have their support for whatever flag that they support, and has nothing. They probably don't even know nothing about the conflict, but they're going to put their support over whatever. And it's like, why do people do that? They just want, oh, look at my Twitter account, I'm supporting whoever. So to me, it's very ridiculous. Ben Shapiro's show, he has a 1 hour long video, and I'm not going to show it, but it's some very gruesome stuff. He's Jewish, and he's went throughout the history about the atrocities happen with the Jews, and then he talks about the Hamas invasion, okay, or attack. I gotta look at the video before I show it on my YouTube channel. Anyway, so I want to get to our next story. Our next story is a very short one, if I can find it. Our next story. Now, RFK just announced that he's running as an independent. He's removing himself from the Democratic Party.
At hotels
And
and
he's
malls on the
announcing
street,
himself
and they
as a presidential candidate for the independent party, or as an independent. So this is his speech.
remind me that this country is ready for a history-making change. They are ready to reclaim their freedom, their independence. And
I saw that and I thought, is that an assassin?
and that's why I'm here today.
I don't know
to
who's
declare
doing
myself
this.
An independent
Nate's
candidate.
thing in front of him. Oh, he's holding up a sign.
At hotels and malls on the street.
So Kennedy is running independent. You have some people thinking it's death to Trump. Death to Trump because he's running as an independent. He thinks, or people are saying that since he's running independent, he's going to capture that independent vote. He probably captures some of the independent, but I think he'll capture more Democrats than independent. But that's just my own personal opinion. But you have some liberals that are mad. Even his family is mad as hell at him that he ran. He's still running. But Joe Biden is not going to debate him. So he said, okay, you guys are not going to recognize me. I'm not the front runner. You're saying Joe Biden is your leader. So I run as an independent. So they put a statement out. Let me see. They put a statement out. This is the statement from his family. And this is from Kerry Kennedy. Bobby might share the same name as our father, but he does not share the same values, vision, or judgment. Today's announcement is deeply saddening for us. We denounce his candidacy and believe it to be perilous for our country. The decision of our brother, Bobby, to run as the third party candidate against Joe Biden is dangerous to our country. Bobby might share the same name as our father, but he does not share the same values, vision, blah, blah, blah. Today announcement deeply saddens for us. So this was signed by Rory, Carey, Joseph, and Kathleen Kennedy. Somebody put, with family like this, who needs family? You mean the family that is rich and influential? Got it. I don't know what's that got to do with the prices in China. I don't know. I don't know why they put that statement. Okay, he's rich. What's that have to do with anything? It says millions of young people are paying attention, and Kennedy's name is not something motivating them. When young people from other countries see what he says, even they agree. You can disagree with family, but keep it in the house. This is just sad. All for a party, and I disagree with some of his policies. Yeah, it seemed like they came out publicly, like because that one Kennedy, I think it was Kerry Kennedy, or maybe it was Kathleen. When his whole vaccine thing, he they're saying that he doesn't support vaccines, but after you listen to him, he's not anti-vaccine. He just was anti-COVID vaccine because they didn't do enough studies on it. But anywho, his sister came out saying, "Oh, he's a nut job. Don't listen to him. He's real extremist and he talks crazy, blah, blah, blah." So it seems like that they are like in bed with the Biden's family. I don't know. Maybe they made a truce to say, "Oh, we need to support Biden for his candidacy." I don't know. If you don't like the person that's running, why would you make a truce with them? I just so they could keep it all Democrat. It doesn't matter how egregious this person is. You said, "Oh, he's a Democrat. We're going to support him." To me, that's just insane. It's ludicrous. So you guys let me know, do you think it's going to be hurtful for JFK to run for president, or will this help him? Donald Trump, would this help Donald Trump? I think it might. It should, you know. Okay, so this is the last story. Last story about Joe Biden. It's gonna be real quick, you guys, because I'm running over time. Last story about Joe Biden. So Joe Biden's younger brother Frank admits naked selfie on guys with iPhones. It's a gay dating site. Is genuine. My phone must have been hacked. So he's saying his phone was hacked. You guys ready for this? It's a naked selfie of Joe Biden's brother, Frank Biden, has been discovered on a gay porn site. A photo was uploaded by gays with iPhones in 2018 when Frank, who has a long-term female partner, Mindy Ward, 64, Even after more than 5 years, it is still live on the site. It was first unearthed by right-wing nonprofit Marco Polo, which has been investigating the Biden family for alleged political corruptions and crimes for years. Frank 69 conceded he was the man in the photo, but denied he was the one who posted it. Why are you taking naked pictures of yourself, Frank? And you're 70. Who does that? Well, so 2008, that would have been 5 years ago. So you 64. You're taking naked pictures of your ding dong at 64. I've absolutely no comment. I could care less. I haven't looked at it, Frank said Monday morning, when asked about the shot at his Florida home. They must have hacked my phone, he added. Anything that is a revealing picture of some kind is between Mindy and me. I really don't want to start my day off this way. Definitely didn't post it anywhere. And look at this dude. He's saying, hey, Mindy, I'm thinking about you, if you know what I mean. Of course, you're not going to see his ding dong. Anybody waiting to see it. You're not going to see it. Sorry, guys. But it's him. And they blurred it out. Okay. He's naked. We know that. They put blur the explicit selfie showing Frank Biden naked except for a cap and glasses. No doubt. We see this. We see he has a cap and glasses. So he's 11 years younger than Joe. The photo was uploaded to the site. Some guys was like, hot dilf, daddy, take me away. It says, what lengths will these cretins go to? Why do they care about a 70-year-old man? A naked picture of President brother circulating online could raise the prospect of blackmail of the first family, a potent national security threat. I doubt it. I don't like the Biden family as much as they do, as much as they do. Who cares if he's naked? We seen worse. Okay, like this guy, Hunter Biden, cracked out, smoking crack. Oh, send me $100,000. I'm gonna leak this photo. And Joe Biden like, oh well, you might as well leak it because it's gonna come out eventually. This photo's gonna come out eventually, so just leak it. That's how you deal with that, because it will come out eventually, especially now they're under investigation. It says there is no evidence that any person or group has attempted to use the shot against Biden administration. That's what I'm saying. It's like he can't admit that he took the photo, and he probably uploaded it himself. Maybe he's a swinger. We don't know. Site metadata and a watermark on the photo said it was posted on May 23rd, 2018. Around the same time, Frank's nephew, Hunter Biden, was also photographing himself naked at the Chateau Marmont with M&Ms lined up along. Why did they put this on there? Chateau Marmont with M&Ms lined up along his penis. Picture from the first son's abandoned laptop. Why did they put that on there? Okay, just say a naked photo. You didn't have to get all crap. Oh, M&M's on this thing. Who cares? in Frank's naked selfie, he appears to be wearing only a baseball cap and glasses as he poses in front of the bathroom. Okay, we already read that. In 2015, the subscriber list for website Ashley Madison, which facilitates affairs for married people, was leaked and included the first son's detail. So he's been shopping out hoes for a long time. It says, but the credit card records used for the subscription match his own. And so Hunter denied he signed up for the site, but the subscription said he used his credit card and he was cheating on his wife. Frank got married in 1985 and divorced in 1990 after having one daughter. He had another daughter with Judy Rogers, who died last year, age 76. His partner, Mindy, has 2 children from her ex-husband, whom she divorced. The president's brother has been in a long-term relationship with 50-year-old Ward, a former Hooters waitress turned American Airlines flight attendant since 2010. Okay, Frank keeping it young. Frank has treated her to official events courtesy of Joe, including a dinner held for the state visit of the Prime Minister of Singapore in 2016, where the couple were pictured. And apparently, so he blurred out the kids. So he has a nice young lady compared to him. She not that young. It says Frank has used Biden's name to boost his career, touting his Washington, D.C. connections to swing board positions at a Florida education company and other ventures. I'll close my door all the way, okay? Company and other ventures. Illinois-based industrial manufacturing firm Federal Signal Corporation hired him to help connect the company with Florida lawmakers, and the Wall Street Journal reported this last month. So he's been, using, of course, his dad's or his brother's name. On the day of Joe's inauguration as president, Biermer Law Group, a Florida law firm Frank works for, ran a newspaper advert with his face and the quote, "My brother is the model for how to go about doing this work." So he currently lives in Florida. So anyway, they're saying that he was arrested for DUIs, several DUIs back in 2004 and 2003. He was arrested and he had some vodka in his car, a liter of vodka in his car. It says during the stop, he gave the police officer his credit card and a handful of change in lieu of his driver's license and registration and flunked the roadside test, cops recorded. They gave him 6 months of 2003. They said he's been sober for 23 years now. So that's Frank. Frankie is on the internet showing his love thing to all the gays that's on this website, apparently. Allegedly. Well, it's not allegedly. He confirmed it was him. But he said he's not gay and he did not post it. But it looks like he is you guys are crazy. He said, I want to see it. I just was reading your comments. It looks like that he is on a straight and narrow path. He's not gay anymore. I'm not gays anymore. I'm not a homo. He likes women's. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you for tuning in once again to another episode of Business Talk. You guys remember to like, subscribe, and share this channel, and make sure you leave a comment. It helps me with my algorithm. I'm going to head off, and I appreciate every single one of you. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.